Advertising. It's something that just never made any sense to me. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I'd hear these ads on the radio or on the television, and they tell you how you're going to save hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and you need to buy right now or the price is going to increase, and there's all these time pressures and fear tactics. But how is that saving money? How is spending a bunch of money going to save you money? I just couldn't understand that. And I can't even understand it today. The tactics are the same. I just heard an ad in my car this past week. I think it was a mattress store. They were telling about how you would save hundreds of dollars if you go buy a mattress right now. It just doesn't make sense. And with cars, it's thousands of dollars. They tell you about how you're saving thousands of dollars if you go buy this car. And it's a new car. Do you really need a new car? You could go used. You could go one car instead of two cars. What do you really need? That's a great question too. And it comes to another term that I don't like, which is fixed expenses. I don't like this term fixed expenses because it prevents you from creative thinking. If you think that these certain expenses in your life are fixed and that you can't possibly avoid them, then you don't think creatively about how to reduce your expenses. So I don't believe in fixed expenses. I believe in analyzing what it is that you absolutely have to have. You have to eat. You have to have some type of housing or shelter, and you need some clothing. Transportation depends on your lifestyle, whether you really need that or not. You can always get around by foot. But I really believe in not thinking about fixed expenses. And my wife's blog, MissFinancialLiteracy.com, she has a great article on this topic. It's called Create and Live by Your Own Financial Rules. I really think you should just throw the rule book out the window. Like when you think fixed expenses, you're imposing certain rules on your life and you're not thinking creatively. I encourage you to think creatively about how to grow your income and how to reduce your expenses and get that savings to be growing larger. And that will help you achieve financial independence. Another term that I really don't like, it's part of the economist training in me, is consumer. Has a very negative connotation to me. I think of consumer, and for myself, I think I consume to live. I do not live to consume, which is what the term sort of implies, that people live to consume. That's just a terrible concept to me. Economists like to think of producers and consumers. Well, I'm aware of another area of life, which is the decomposing side of economics. And what does that mean? That means recycling. That means buying things used. That means selling things used that I don't need anymore. I'm currently selling off a lot of what I own on Craigslist to help put these things back into the economy and so that they don't end up in landfills. Back to this topic of advertising. I was curious, what percentage of the U.S. economy is advertising? What percentage of all goods and services produced in the U.S. is advertising? And I was thinking somewhere in the 15 to 20% range. That was my guess. So I did a Google search, and the answer was 19%. This means that 1/5 of the cost of everything you buy, it's advertising costs. You want to buy a new car, and it runs $20,000? About $4,000 of that is to pay for the advertising costs. This significantly increases the cost that you pay for everything. I'm encouraged by a new trend that I see coming in advertising, which is a return to word-of-mouth advertising. And my hope is that that can pass savings back on to the people buying products. I use Chase Sapphire card, and I like to tell my friends and family about what a great credit card that is. I've told my mother, I've told my brother, I've told my aunt, and Chase even encourages that their card users recommend this product to other people if they like and use it. And I love using that card. I find it very beneficial. And that's a form of word-of-mouth advertising. Another product that I've been using a lot and loving is Personal Capital. And I've even done a review of that on my YouTube channel. I have a video on Personal Capital and how it's useful to me and how it could be useful to you. And my wife on MissFinancialLiteracy.com, she's written a great review of Personal Capital as well, and she goes into even more detail, detailing the security of the product. And it's a free product for you to use, and it's another form of word-of-mouth advertising that is an encouraging sign for reducing advertising costs. I want you to break free from these traps in your life, which are advertising, fixed expenses, thinking of things in terms of fixed expenses, and being a consumer. You can start driving that wedge, building your savings, investing the money that you've saved, and reaching your goals towards financial independence. This was Tripp at Financially Possible.